Hello, and welcome back to the Cosmos Sleep Channel. Settle in softly, breathe deeply, and allow your body to gently unwind. Tonight, we descend into the smallest, most numerous, and most vital kingdom on Earth. The silent, colossal, and invisible world of bacteria and single-celled life. Imagine gently that you are floating downward, slowly, as though a microscope lens is adjusting its focus over countless layers of quiet existence. Everything becomes softer. Everything becomes slower. The world grows vast, not in distance, but in detail. In this tranquil descent, we enter a universe where size becomes irrelevant, and where every single cell, though microscopic, holds an entire world within. Here, in this silent universe, life is stripped down to its most essential form. One membrane, one loop of DNA, one tranquil chamber of cytoplasm. And yet, this simple architecture is enough to shape ecosystems, digest mountains, clean oceans, and sustain bodies. Slowly, gently, we approach a single cell, a lone bacterium drifting in the stillness, like a solitary star suspended in a calm night sky. Feel your breath soften as we observe it. Inside the bacterium, the DNA floats in a loose, gentle coil, not locked away in a nucleus, but freely drifting, slowly unwinding and rewinding in peaceful rhythms. Every motion is unhurried, every process is quiet. No organs, no complexity, only the calm machinery of life, humming at its own microscopic pace. Around it lies the membrane, a delicate boundary, a soft, shimmering film that separates inside from outside. This membrane is not rigid, it is fluid, tranquil, always shifting, always responding. It holds the silent chamber together, protecting the cytoplasm, the ribosomes, and the floating threads of genetic information. And in this still universe, movement happens not in steps or strides, but in gentle flows, slow drifts, molecular dances too soft for the human eye to ever detect. Take another slow breath. Let your body settle deeper. Let your mind drift with the cell. In the quiet of this microscopic world, even time feels different, stretched, softened, dissolved into long moments of silent replication. The single cell grows, not with urgency, but with a calm certainty. It gathers nutrients gently, drawing them across its membrane, letting them dissolve into its inner space. This is the beginning of its existence and of our journey. As you continue to settle in, let your breath match the gentle rhythm of this microscopic world. Slow, quiet, unhurried. Here in the presence of a single cell, complexity fades, and what remains is a tranquil, ancient pattern, one that has repeated itself billions of times across billions of years. Every bacterium, every microorganism, follows this same silent sequence of existence, a calm choreography echoed since the earliest days of Earth. Picture that cytoplasm now, a soft, gel-like ocean enclosed within the membrane. It is not empty. It is filled with drifting molecules, enzymes, and ribosomes, each floating in a peaceful suspension. They do not hurry. They do not rush. They simply drift, gently encountering one another, initiating reactions not through force, but through patient proximity. In this microscopic calm, even chemistry feels soothing. The ribosomes, tiny particles responsible for creating proteins, work with a serene rhythm. There is no noise, no vibration, only the slow assembly of amino acids, one by one, forming the structures of life. Each protein folds quietly, settling into shape like a leaf drifting onto still water. This is the silent craftsmanship of the microbial universe. Subtle, meticulous, but always tranquil. Near the center of the cell, the loop of DNA begins to unwind, slowly releasing its genetic instructions. The strands separate gently, like two ribbons drifting apart in deep water. Enzymes move along them at an unhurried pace, copying the genetic message with calm precision. This is replication at its quietest, a process so ancient, so fundamental, that even thinking about it can slow your heartbeat. Outside the cell, the surrounding environment is equally serene. Nutrients float softly, approaching the membrane with no tension, no urgency. The bacterium absorbs them through delicate transport channels, each molecule slipping inward like a quiet sigh. And as the cell gathers energy, you may picture it growing, slowly expanding, stretching its membrane just enough to prepare for the next stage of life. Binary fission is coming, the gentle duplication that allows this single cell to become two. But nothing happens abruptly in this universe. The preparation is long, slow, and soothing. The cell simply continues its timeless rhythm. Absorb, replicate, drift, expand. A cycle so simple, yet so powerful. It shapes every ecosystem on Earth. Let your muscles relax as you imagine this steady sequence. Let your thoughts drift like molecules in cytoplasm. Here, in the silent universe of microorganisms, existence is patient, predictable, and deeply calming. When you are ready, we move closer to the moment of gentle division. Slowly, softly, we drift toward the moment when a single cell prepares to become two. In this microscopic universe, division is not violent, it is not sudden. It is a calm unfolding, a gentle replication of life's simplest pattern. As you breathe deeply, let each inhale mirror the quiet expansion of the cell, and let each exhale match the tranquil release of tension in its membrane. Inside the bacterium, the DNA has finished unwinding. Two identical loops now float in the cytoplasm, drifting like twin galaxies suspended in a silent cosmic sea. They do not rush toward opposite ends. They move gradually, guided only by the soft currents of the molecular fluid. Slowly, patiently, they settle into place, one drifting left, the other drifting right, creating a perfect balance inside the expanding membrane. The cell wall responds with equal calm. It stretches gently, as though exhaling after a long rest. It does not tear. It does not strain. Instead, it allows itself to widen, making room for the quiet duplication within. Every part of this process feels natural, ancient, and deeply soothing. A repetition that has persisted for billions of years without ever making a sound. Feel your body follow this same pattern, expanding softly, relaxing slowly, settling deeper into stillness, like the cell settling into its silent purpose. The cytoplasm continues its quiet work. Ribosomes produce proteins at a tranquil pace, helping the cell prepare for division. Enzymes drift like small currents, helping each component reach its place. Nothing here is hurried. Nothing is forced. Even the act of becoming two is guided by gentle chemistry and soft, fluid motion. Gradually, the membrane begins to pinch inward. This inward fold is subtle, almost imperceptible, a slow indentation forming between the two identical DNA loops. It is the beginning of separation, but even now, the pace remains serene. The cell narrows slowly like a calm river passing between two stones. The indentation deepens, the walls draw closer, and the tranquil choreography continues without tension or sound. Breathe with this moment. Let each slow inhale represent the fullness of the cell, and each soft exhale represent the narrowing as division approaches. There is no urgency, only stillness, only the ancient rhythm of binary fission. As the membrane closes in, the two halves of the cell begin to drift apart, not with force, but with gentle inevitability. And soon, very soon, one silent cell will become two identical lives, two quiet universes, two beginnings drifting in the microscopic night. When you're ready, we move into the soft completion of this division and into the next layer of the silent microbial world. The narrowing of the membrane continues with a quiet, unbroken patience. The cell has no haste, no tension, no struggle. It simply follows a rhythm, older than oceans, older than mountains, older than the air you breathe. As you settle deeper into your own stillness, imagine this membrane slowly drawing inward, forming two tranquil chambers where there was once only one. The indentation becomes a soft, gentle valley, curving inward from both sides. The cytoplasm adjusts without resistance, flowing calmly into each forming half. Ribosomes drift to their new positions. Enzymes settle into balance. Everything inside the cell rearranges itself in silence, as though guided by an invisible hand that knows only serenity. Now picture the final threads of the membrane meeting in the center. They do not snap or tear. They touch softly, merge softly, sealing the two new cells with the gentlest motion imaginable. In this moment, binary fission is complete. One single cell, quiet and ancient, has become two identical reflections of itself. Feel your breath soften. Feel your muscles unwind. Let the slow emergence of two new cells mirror the soft release of tension in your body. Each new bacterium floats freely now, drifting apart like two calm stars separating in the vastness of space. They do not compete. They do not rush away. They simply drift, carried by the silent currents of the microscopic world, continuing the same peaceful cycle their ancestor followed just moments before. The first cell grows again, slowly gathering nutrients from the surrounding environment. The second cell grows as well, responding gently to the same soft molecular signals. In the silent universe of microorganisms, life is not a battle. It is a repetition, a rhythm, a tranquil unfolding that continues endlessly. Around them, other cells drift through the fluid, forming a quiet community without noise or intention. Some absorb nutrients softly. Some begin their own replication cycles. Others simply drift, resting in the gentle stillness of the environment. This is the foundation of every ecosystem on Earth, not in the form of towering structures or complex organs, but in these tiny, calm, single cells carrying out life's simplest instructions. As you breathe slowly, imagine millions of these tranquil forms moving together, not chaotically, but like a soft, microscopic breeze passing across an invisible landscape. Each cell exists in its own pocket of peace, yet all contribute to a vast, collective harmony. And now, we gently drift toward another phenomenon of this quiet universe, the silent gathering of cells into communities, the calm birth of what we call a biofilm. Slowly, gently, we drift through the microscopic environment, moving from solitary cells towards something larger, softer, and deeply communal. In this tranquil universe, bacteria do not always remain alone. When conditions invite them, they begin to gather, quietly, gradually, forming structures that grow with patient intention. These are biofilms, silent cities of microorganisms, built layer by layer, molecule by molecule, with no sound at all. Imagine a smooth surface, perhaps a pebble resting at the bottom of a calm stream. Its surface is cool, steady, and still. A few drifting cells settle upon it, carried by gentle currents. They do not anchor themselves immediately. They simply pause, sensing the surface, testing it softly through their membranes. In this microscopic world, even the act of touching a surface is unhurried, like a feather drifting to rest. As the first bacterial cells settle, they release subtle molecular signals, quiet chemical whispers passing through the water. These signals do not shout. They drift. They tell neighboring cells, here is a place of calm. Here is a place to stay. Slowly, more cells arrive. They attach themselves with soft, sticky structures, slipping into place without force. Feel your breathing align with this peaceful gathering. Soft, slow, unhurried. The cells begin to secrete a delicate gel-like matrix, a protective layer called extracellular polymeric substance, or EPS. But we may imagine it simply as a tranquil, shimmering blanket. This blanket grows beneath and around them, gently holding them together. It is not rigid. It is flexible, fluid, like a calm ocean surface, forming a quiet embrace. Within this protective layer, the bacteria can rest. They can drift slightly, communicate softly, share nutrients, and slowly replicate. The biofilm thickens, not with urgency, but with patience. One layer becomes two become three, and soon a silent microbial city forms, a structure that breathes, flows, and unwinds at its own microscopic pace. You can picture this biofilm as something soft and glowing in the darkness, made not of metal or stone, but of living cells, drifting molecules, and silent communication. Every cell within it follows the same gentle rhythm. Absorb, replicate, settle, rest. Let your mind drift through this structure as though walking through a quiet, ancient village at night. Every corner is peaceful, every movement subtle. Every cell contributes to the silent vastness of the community. Biofilms appear everywhere life finds stillness, on rocks, on leaves, inside soil, and even within the human body. Not as threats, but often as partners. They help roots absorb nutrients. They protect streams from pollutants. They stabilize ecosystems, all while maintaining a silence so deep that it mirrors the calm of deep sleep. As the biofilm grows, communication becomes more intricate, yet always soft, always slow. Chemical signals flow like gentle streams between the cells, allowing them to act as one. And now, in this tranquil microbial city, we move toward another phenomenon, the calm, silent art of quorum sensing, the way bacteria whisper in chemical phrases. In the quiet depths of the biofilm, a new layer of stillness begins to unfold. The the serene language of microorganisms, spoken not with voices, but with drifting chemical whispers. This is quorum sensing, a form of communication so gentle, so subtle, that it feels like the slow ripple of a thought passing through a dream. Imagine each cell releasing tiny molecules, soft signals that diffuse outward like faint ripples on a calm lake. These molecules drift through the gel-like EPS matrix, slipping past neighboring cells with no urgency at all. They carry a message, not a command, but an observation. I am here. As more cells join the biofilm, more of these gentle signals accumulate. Slowly, silently, the concentration rises. And when it reaches a threshold, a soft tipping point, every cell becomes aware of the collective presence. It is as if the entire community sighs together, recognizing its own quiet strength. Breathe deeply and imagine those drifting molecules filling the silent space around you. Soft, slow, communicating without urgency. Quorum sensing allows cells to coordinate their behavior, but this coordination is never violent or abrupt. It unfolds like a tide coming in, steady, predictable, soothing. When enough cells are present, they begin new tasks, producing more protective matrix, sharing nutrients more efficiently, adjusting their metabolism to match the community's needs, or preparing for a calm, collective expansion. These changes happen as softly as the deep ocean shifting beneath the moon. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is forced. The biofilm simply adapts, like a living whisper. Inside this tranquil matrix, each cell knows when to replicate and when to rest. It knows when to create enzymes and when to conserve energy. It knows because it listens, constantly, gently, to the quiet chemical conversations passing through its membrane. Feel your mind match this slow communication. Feel your body respond to the gentle harmony of millions of cells acting in unison. Quorum sensing also shapes the resilience of microbial communities. When the environment becomes stressful, too dry, too salty, too hot, the cells communicate these conditions softly through shifting molecular signals. In response, some may enter deeper tranquility, forming silent protective forms. These forms are endospores, one of the most quiet, patient adaptations in the microbial world. An endospore is not a cell in motion. It is a cell in meditation, a cell in deep, timeless rest, a cell waiting silently for conditions to soften again. And so, from the calm communication of quorum sensing, we now drift gently into the world of spores, into the long silent waiting of bacterial endurance. Slowly, softly, we drift toward one of the most tranquil states in all of microbiology, the serene, timeless stillness of the endospore. If the bacterial cell is a quiet star drifting through the microscopic night, then the endospore is that star entering a deep, unbroken slumber, a sleep so profound, so perfectly silent, that it can last not for days or years, but for centuries, even millennia. Imagine a single bacterium sensing, through the gentle chemistry of quorum signals, that the environment around it is becoming harsh. The nutrients grow scarce. The moisture fades. The temperature shifts. But there is no panic, no struggle. only a slow, measured response, a graceful retreat into stillness. Inside the cell, its DNA begins to condense, winding itself tightly, like a scroll being rolled with patient hands. The cytoplasm thickens, becoming more protective, more resistant. Layers form around this core, quiet layers, durable layers, each added with calm precision. These layers are not rushed. They build gradually, like sediment collecting on the floor of a peaceful lake. As the protective coats develop, the cell's metabolic activity slows, then slows further, until it reaches a point just above complete stillness, a near-silent existence, a pause in time itself. Breathe deeply and imagine that stillness settling into your own body. Everything slowing, everything softening, everything gently unwinding. The outer cell eventually dissolves away, leaving behind only the spore, a tiny sphere or oval, but stronger than almost any structure nature has created. Inside this quiet capsule, the DNA rests untouched. Untouched by heat, radiation, dryness, or time. It waits, patiently, peacefully. Endospores have been found in ancient salt crystals, preserved for millions of years, still alive, still capable of awakening when touched by gentler conditions. Imagine that endurance. Imagine existing in a state of pure stillness. A silent pause lasting longer than civilizations, longer than landscapes, waiting for water and warmth to whisper, "You may wake now." And when that whisper arrives, the transition is soft, not explosive, not sudden. Moisture returns slowly. Temperature rises gently. Nutrients drift near. The spore absorbs these signs with the same calm patience it used to enter its slumber. Its layers loosen. Its metabolism stirs. What was once still begins to flow again. The DNA unwinds. Ribosomes awaken. Enzymes drift to their positions. The quiet seed becomes a living cell once more. Feel this gentle awakening as you inhale, letting your mind warm softly. Feel the release of tension as you exhale, like the spore shedding its protective layers. From the deep sleep of endospores, we now drift toward another peaceful aspect of the microbial world. The quiet partnerships that bacteria form with larger organisms, not in conflict, but in symbiose, an ancient harmony. These partnerships are the reason plants grow, oceans breathe, and humans thrive. Now we drift gently into one of the most soothing truths of the microbial universe, the quiet, ancient partnerships known as symbiosis. In this soft, interconnected world, bacteria do not merely exist alone. They live alongside larger beings, forming calm, essential bonds that support life in peaceful, invisible ways. Imagine a vast forest, tall trees rising, leaves trembling softly in the wind, roots stretching deep into cool soil. Beneath all of this, beneath every rustle, every drop of rain, every beam of sunlight, lies a silent network of microorganisms working in harmony. Bacteria rest among soil particles, drifting gently between grains of sand. They communicate softly with plant roots, exchanging nutrients with no noise, no struggle, only quiet cooperation. The plant offers sugars, The bacteria offer nitrogen, a mutual whisper, a silent agreement. Both thrive. Let your breath find that same calm exchange. Inhale gently, exhale softly. Balance. Some bacteria live inside the roots themselves, forming tranquil chambers where they convert nitrogen into forms the plant can use. This process, nitrogen fixation, is not loud or bright. It unfolds with deep, unbroken serenity, molecule by molecule, like a slow meditative chant beneath the earth. Above the soil, animals rely on bacterial partnerships as well. Inside every digestive system, from insects to whales, trillions of microbes drift in gentle currents, helping break down food, creating vitamins, and maintaining balance. These microorganisms do not demand attention. They work in silence, like soft caretakers guarding the inner world. Even within the human body, bacteria form calm alliances on the skin, in the mouth, within the lungs, and especially in the gut. Picture your intestines as a warm, tranquil river. Along its winding path live countless single-celled organisms, each contributing to digestion, immunity, and emotional balance. They drift, they settle, they replicate quietly, creating a stable ecosystem that supports your well-being with no words at all. As you breathe deeply, imagine thanking these tiny partners, not with sound, but with stillness. Symbiosis extends even further into glowing sea creatures, into ancient corals, into insects carrying microbes that guide their development. Everywhere life exists, bacteria accompany it, shaping its path with a peaceful, steady presence. These relationships remind us that the microscopic world is not chaotic or aggressive. It is cooperative, harmonious, calm. A gentle web of life linking the smallest cell to the largest creature. And now, from these tranquil partnerships, we drift toward the next soft layers of the microbial universe. How bacteria move, not with force, but with graceful, flowing motions that resemble drifting silk in water. In this quiet universe, even movement is gentle. When bacteria drift from one place to another, they do not rush, they do not force, they do not push. They move the way silk threads float through warm water, softly, gracefully, guided by subtle currents and delicate structures. Imagine a single bacterium resting for a moment in the stillness of its environment. Around it, the microscopic world vibrates with tiny motions, molecules bumping, water shifting, nutrients drifting. These movements are not chaotic. They form a soft, ever-present current that carries the cell along with ease, the way a leaf glides on a calm river. But bacteria are not always content to drift passively. Some possess elegant spiral structures called flagella, long, thin filaments that rotate gently like a quiet propeller. There is no harsh buzzing, no vibrating noise, only the silent turning of a microscopic helix. Picture it now, a smooth, spiraling motion, rotating softly, pushing the cell forward through a tranquil sea of water molecules. With every slow rotation, the bacterium glides. Its movement is not linear, but fluid, curving gently from side to side. It seems almost like a dance, not hurried, not sharp, but calm and continuous. This is motility in its most peaceful form. Feel your breath mimic that motion. Inhale as the flagellum turns. Exhale as the cell drifts forward. Other bacteria move differently, using tiny hair-like structures called pili. These structures reach out, touch a surface softly, and pull the cell forward with a tender, almost imperceptible motion. This is twitching motility, but there is nothing abrupt about it. It is slow, deliberate, like a quiet hand reaching out in the dark to move 1 inch closer to warmth. Some glide along surfaces without visible movement at all, as if carried by an invisible wave beneath their membranes. These gliding cells create the illusion of sliding on glass, a calm, smooth journey guided by molecular machinery far too gentle for the eye to see. And then there are bacteria that move by spreading across moist surfaces in groups, forming a soft, expanding wave known as swarming. But even this is not loud or aggressive. Imagine thousands of cells coordinating through chemical whispers, their flagella rotating in harmony, creating a living, flowing sheet that glides outward like a thin mist settling across the ground. Movement in the microbial world is always quiet, always soft, always patient. As you sink deeper into relaxation, imagine drifting alongside these cells, floating with them, following their gentle, swirling paths, letting your thoughts move as slowly and effortlessly as they do. From this graceful locomotion, we drift toward another silent phenomenon, the way bacteria adapt to their surroundings. Not through strength or speed, but through calm, deliberate genetic changes that unfold like slow evolution in miniature. In the vast, silent expanse of the microscopic world, bacteria possess a remarkable ability, the ability to adapt. Yet even this adaptation, which shapes ecosystems and drives evolution, unfolds with a softness that mirrors deep sleep. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is abrupt. Every change occurs slowly, quietly, like a gentle shift in the tides of an unseen ocean. Picture a single bacterium drifting peacefully through its environment. Around it, conditions subtly change. The temperature warms slightly. Nutrients shift. A new chemical appears in the water. These changes are not threats. They are whispers, suggestions, soft invitations for the cell to adjust. Inside the membrane, the DNA responds. Not with panic, not with chaos, but with a tranquil openness to modification. Bacteria can take in small fragments of DNA from their surroundings, tiny floating pieces left behind by other cells. This process, called transformation, feels like absorbing a drifting thought from the air. A strand of genetic material slips across the membrane, enters the cytoplasm, and settles gently into place. If it fits, if it helps, the cell incorporates it with quiet acceptance. Let your breath mirror this gentle intake, a slow inhale, a soft integration. Bacteria may also exchange DNA with each other in a calm, intimate contact known as conjugation. Imagine two cells drifting close, side by side, touching with delicate pili, thin, flexible strands reaching across a tiny gap. Through this connection, a plasmid, a small loop of DNA, moves from one cell to the other. It transfers without force, without struggle, like a whispered message shared between ancient friends. And there is transduction, where viruses that infect bacteria carry bits of DNA from one cell to another. Even this process, though it involves a viral messenger, unfolds with microscopic gentleness. The virus drifts, attaches softly, and inserts a fragment that may help the cell adapt to future conditions. Through these quiet exchanges, bacteria gain new abilities to digest new nutrients, to resist environmental stress, to survive heat or dryness, to thrive where other organisms cannot. This adaptability is not frantic, it is contemplative, not aggressive, but graceful. Feel your mind settle into that same pattern. Change, but slowly. Grow, but gently. Evolve, but without force. Each genetic shift is like a soft breeze passing through the silent microbial universe, nudging cells toward new possibilities. Over millions of years, these small changes accumulate, forming entire lineages of microorganisms perfectly tuned to their environments. And now, as we float deeper into this calm, genetic landscape, we drift toward the vastness of microbial diversity, the quiet truth that the world is filled with countless forms of single-celled life, each with its own silent rhythm. As we drift deeper into this microscopic universe, we begin to sense the breathtaking diversity of single-celled life, a diversity so vast, so ancient, and so quietly powerful that it shapes every corner of the planet. Yet despite its immensity, this diversity never shouts. It never demands to be seen. It exists in calm silence, like an endless field of stars shimmering beneath a tranquil night sky. Imagine floating slowly through a world where every direction reveals another form of life, each one microscopic, each one gentle, each one moving with its own quiet rhythm. Some bacteria are perfectly round, tiny spheres known as conchi, resting like delicate pearls suspended in fluid. Others stretch into soft rods called bacilli, their shapes long and smooth, drifting like small, weightless grains of rice. Still others twist into spirals, elegant helices known as spirilla, rotating slowly through the water in graceful arcs. You can imagine each shape as a different melody in a peaceful symphony, all distinct, all soft, all contributing to the harmony of the microbial world. Breathe in deeply, as if taking in the presence of these countless gentle forms. Breathe out softly, letting the vastness settle into your mind. Some microorganisms prefer warm oceans, drifting near volcanic vents, where minerals flow like silent smoke. Others inhabit frozen lakes, surviving in tiny pockets of liquid trapped beneath layers of ice. Some live within deserts, resting in microscopic cracks of rocks, protected from the heat by their calm resilience. Wherever life can exist, even in places where sunlight never reaches, bacteria are already there, thriving quietly. Some feed on hydrogen, others on sulfur. Some survive in pure salt. Others live in darkness so complete that they have never sensed light at all. Their survival is not aggressive. It is peaceful persistence. Among this diversity are the archaea, microorganisms once mistaken for bacteria, yet unique in their own tranquil ways. They drift through acidic springs, inhabit the deepest trenches of the ocean, and rest within soils where oxygen is scarce. Their membranes are different. Their enzymes flow differently. Their calm endurance allows them to live in places no other life can touch. And then, in yet another direction, float the microalgae, gentle photosynthetic organisms that drift in the upper layers of water. They capture light softly, converting sunlight into energy through a quiet, intricate dance of pigments. Each one contributes to the slow production of oxygen that fills your lungs as you breathe deeply now. In this silent universe, differences do not create competition. They create balance. Diversity brings stability. Every microorganism plays a role, no matter how small, contributing to the calm functioning of ecosystems across the planet. Feel yourself drifting among them, passing smoothly through clouds of gentle forms, each one unique, each one peaceful. Let the diversity soothe your mind, a reminder that existence itself can take countless shapes, all moving slowly, all living quietly. And now, from this vast diversity, we drift deeper into the soft chemistry that sustains these organisms, the slow, peaceful processes inside every single cell. Now we drift gently inward, returning to the inner world of the single cell, a small, silent chamber where chemistry unfolds with the softness of a steady heartbeat. Inside each microorganism, no matter its shape or habitat, life is guided by calm biochemical rhythms. These processes do not shout. They do not rush. They flow with tranquil consistency, sustaining the cell in a slow meditative cycle. Imagine entering the cytoplasm once more, that quiet gel-like ocean inside the membrane. Molecules drift softly through it, never in straight lines, but in gentle, wandering paths. Enzymes float like tiny caretakers, waiting patiently for the moment a compatible molecule drifts near enough to bind. When they meet, the reaction is not sudden. It is a soft, subtle shift, like a key settling into a lock. Breathe in slowly and imagine these reactions unfolding. Breathe out softly, letting the rhythm of the cell mirror your own. One of the most fundamental processes within the silent cell is metabolism, the transformation of nutrients into energy. In microorganisms, metabolism does not roar like an engine. It whispers like a calm stream. Sugars drift into the cell, broken down step by step through pathways such as glycolysis. Each step is a slow handoff, an unhurried transition, producing small, steady amounts of energy. This energy is stored in molecules like ATP, tiny packets of calm potential. They are created slowly, used gently, and renewed with predictable ease. The entire process feels like a slow, even pulse, sustaining the cell's existence. Another quiet process is protein synthesis, the creation of the structures and enzymes the cell needs. Ribosomes read strands of RNA with patient precision, adding one amino acid after another. Imagine a necklace being strung, bead by bead, each movement precise and unhurried. Proteins fold into their shapes with the same soft inevitability. Feel your mind follow that pattern, forming thoughts gently, assembling ideas one by one without pressure or force. The cell also maintains a silent balance of ions, sodium, potassium, hydrogen, drifting across the membrane. This balance of charges creates gentle gradients, like soft slopes guiding molecules inward and outward. Transport proteins open and close quietly, moving nutrients with a slow, seamless grace. Even the cell's reactions to stress, heat, dryness, acidity, follow a peaceful sequence. Chaperone proteins unfold and refold damaged structures with calm patience, never in panic, always in quiet restoration. If the environment becomes too harsh, the cell slows its processes, conserving energy, returning to a safe, minimal rhythm. All of this happens without sound, without hurry, without conflict. It is life in its softest form, a delicate chemistry that has sustained the planet for billions of years. And now, having witnessed the calm within the cell, we drift outward once more, toward the silent cycles that microorganisms create in entire ecosystems, the slow, peaceful loops of matter and energy that support all life on Earth. Gently, slowly, we rise from the quiet interior of the single cell and drift outward into the vast ecological cycles shaped silently by microorganisms. These cycles are ancient and continuous, woven through oceans, forests, soil, and even the air you breathe. There is no rush within them, no noise, only steady, patient transformation, the soft recycling of life's essential elements. Imagine Earth not as a sphere of continents and oceans, but as a calm, breathing organism. Its breath is composed of cycles, loops of matter drifting from one form to another. And at the heart of these loops, guiding the transitions with tranquil persistence, are bacteria and microorganisms. One of the most serene cycles is the carbon cycle. Picture carbon molecules drifting through the air, carried like gentle dust in a sunbeam. Some settle onto plant leaves, where photosynthetic microorganisms convert them into sugars with soft, light-driven chemistry. When these sugars break down, bacteria quietly return the carbon to the atmosphere through respiration, a whisper of transformation that mirrors your own slow exhale. In the oceans, tiny drifting algae, calm, floating cells, perform this process with equal grace, producing much of the oxygen that fills your lungs now. Their photosynthesis is not loud or bright. It is a silent dance of pigments catching light, turning it into energy, one tranquil reaction at a time. Next comes the nitrogen cycle, another gentle loop sustained almost entirely by microorganisms. Nitrogen in the air does not enter living cells directly. It must first be transformed, slowly and patiently, by bacteria in the soil. These nitrogen-fixing bacteria rest near plant roots, converting invisible atmospheric nitrogen into forms plants can use. Their work is quiet, steady, and absolutely essential. When plants absorb this nitrogen, it moves softly through food chains. And when life ends, decomposers release it back into the soil, allowing the cycle to continue with calm inevitability. Feel your breath follow the rhythm of these cycles. Inhale, a soft gathering. Exhale, a gentle release. There is also the sulfur cycle, sustained by bacteria living near volcanic vents and deep-sea chimneys. These microorganisms process sulfur compounds in darkness, using chemical energy instead of light. Their metabolism hums with a slow, deep quiet, a reminder that life can flourish even where sunlight never touches. And then there is decomposition, perhaps the most peaceful of all microbial contributions. When organic matter rests on forest floors or sinks to the bottom of lakes, microorganisms settle over it like a soft blanket. They break it down slowly, molecule by molecule, returning nutrients to the environment. Their work is patient, continuous, and soothingly predictable. This silent recycling sustains forests, feeds rivers, renews soil, supports the planet's balance with effortless calm. As you breathe deeply, imagine yourself drifting among these cycles, floating through gentle currents of carbon, nitrogen, and sulfur. Every molecule moves with purpose, yet with no urgency. Every transition is quiet, yet vital. From these vast planet-shaping cycles, we now drift into another tranquil realm. The microscopic communities that live inside animals and humans, the calm, diverse ecosystems known as the microbiome. Slowly, softly, we drift now into one of the most intimate and tranquil habitats of the microbial world, the microbiome. The quiet, diverse community of microorganisms living within and upon every animal, including you. This ecosystem is vast, ancient, and deeply harmonious. Yet despite its complexity, it moves with the same gentle rhythm found throughout the microscopic universe. Imagine your body not as a single organism, but as a peaceful landscape, a warm, sheltered environment with countless microhabitats. Each region, from your skin to your lungs to your gut, hosts its own community of microorganisms. They do not intrude. They do not shout. They simply coexist, drifting in soft currents of moisture and nutrients. Let your breath settle. Inhale softly. Exhale gently. Allow the idea of this internal ecosystem to relax your mind. One of the calmest and most important of these regions is the gut microbiome. Picture it as a long, warm river flowing through your core. Along the gentle curves of this river, trillions of bacteria drift with quiet purpose. They help break down food, forming nutrients your body can absorb. They create vitamins with slow, steady precision. They maintain a peaceful pH balance that allows digestion to unfold smoothly. These microorganisms do not demand attention. They work invisibly, silently, continuously. As food moves through the digestive system, bacteria respond with soft coordination. Some release enzymes that gently break down fibers. Others convert sugars into short-chain fatty acids, calm, soothing molecules that support gut health and even emotional well-being. Studies have shown that these bacterial byproducts can influence mood promoting calmness and reducing stress. Feel your breath reflect this inner harmony. A slow inhale, acknowledging their presence. A soft exhale, releasing tension. Beyond the gut, the skin hosts another serene ecosystem. Tiny microorganisms live within pores, resting in the gentle warmth of the surface. They form protective communities that prevent harmful invaders from settling. Their presence maintains balance, like a thin, invisible shield of calm. In the lungs, once thought sterile, microorganisms drift in delicate airways, contributing to immune balance. They are few in number, yet their influence is soft and steady, shaping how the body responds to the world around it. Even within the mouth, a place of constant movement, microorganisms settle into quiet communities along the tongue, teeth, and gums. They participate in digestion's earliest moments, converting nutrients with patient precision. Each of these communities communicates through chemical signals, just like the biofilms we visited earlier. But here, the communication forms a gentle dialogue with your body. Your immune system listens softly, learning which microorganisms to tolerate, which to ignore, and which to protect. This cooperation forms a long, silent partnership that supports health and calmness. The microbiome is not a battlefield, it is a garden, tended by microorganisms, nourished by your breath, influenced by your choices, and shaped by trillions of silent interactions. In this peaceful internal world, every cell and every microorganism follows a steady rhythm. A rhythm that mirrors the slow beating of the heart, the gentle rise and fall of the breath, the tranquil flow of life. And now, we drift deeper into the next layer of the microbial world, the soft, quiet relationships between microorganisms themselves, where cooperation, competition, and balance unfold with delicate grace. Gently, we continue drifting through the silent universe, within and around microorganisms, moving now into the peaceful relationships they form with one another. In this quiet realm, interactions unfold in subtle gradients: cooperation, coexistence, and even competition, all softened by the slow fluidity of the microscopic world. Nothing is loud. Nothing is dramatic. Every exchange feels like a soft ripple spreading across still water. Imagine a cluster of microorganisms resting together on a moist surface. They do not stand alone. They share the space with countless others. Some produce nutrients that drift outward and softly feed their neighbors. Others create protective molecules that gently stabilize the community. In these delicate networks, microorganisms support each other in ways that feel almost like friendship, a microbial cooperation known as mutualism. Picture two different species drifting close. One releases a compound, the other needs. The second releases a nutrient that supports the first. Their exchange is slow, quiet, and balanced, like two calm breaths blending into one. Each cell benefits, and neither takes more than it needs. Feel your breathing echo that exchange. Inhale gently, accepting support. Exhale slowly, offering calm energy back. Alongside cooperation, there is also commensalism, where one microorganism benefits while the other remains untouched. Imagine a small bacterial cell resting in the soft shadow of a larger one, receiving shelter without altering the other's existence. It is a relationship of peaceful coexistence. No harm, no demand, just quiet sharing of space. Even microbial competition, when it occurs, is guided by slow gradients rather than violent clashes. Instead of battles, microorganisms release subtle compounds into their environment. Soft chemical signals, called bacteriocins, that influence the growth of neighbors. These interactions shape the balance of communities, not through force, but through the whisper-like language of chemistry. Picture it like this: two cells drift near the same nutrient source. One gently releases a molecule that slows the other's growth. Not destruction, just a slight shift, a quiet rebalancing. Both continue to exist, but at different rhythms. The silence of these interactions creates a remarkable stability. Communities shape themselves. Equilibrium forms slowly. No single cell dominates for long. Balance emerges through countless gentle exchanges. Some microorganisms even form syntrophic partnerships, cooperating in sequences so delicate that neither could survive without the other. One species breaks down a molecule partially, releasing a byproduct. Another consumes that byproduct slowly, helping carry the reaction forward. Together, they create a cycle of mutual dependence, a soft shared metabolism. Imagine two calm workers passing a heavy object hand to hand, each contributing just enough effort, neither overwhelmed. This is syntrophy, a harmony built on shared labor and microscopic trust. These relationships reveal an essential truth about the silent microbial universe. Life thrives in balance. Life settles into cooperation. Life unfolds most peacefully when interconnected. As you breathe deeply, let this idea settle gently into your mind. You, too, are part of many quiet relationships within your body, within your environment, within the larger world. Balance comes not from force, but from soft reciprocity. From these delicate microbial interactions, we drift next into the slow, quiet formation of microbial mats and layered communities, some of the oldest ecosystems on Earth, where life has been silently unfolding for billions of years. Slowly, softly, we drift toward one of the most ancient and tranquil structures in the history of life. Microbial mats, layered communities of microorganisms that have existed quietly for billions of years. These mats are among the earliest ecosystems on Earth, formed long before plants, animals, or even the oxygen-rich atmosphere we breathe today. And yet, despite their immense age, they grow with a calm, meditative rhythm. Imagine a shallow, sunlit shoreline. The water is warm, still, and gently shimmering. Beneath the surface lies a soft, rippling carpet of life, a microbial mat. At first glance, it looks like a thin layer of color resting on the sand. But as we drift closer, we see that this mat is composed of countless microorganisms arranged in peaceful layers, each layer performing its own quiet role. At the top, Bathed in soft sunlight, drift the photosynthetic bacteria, cyanobacteria, that capture sunlight gently, converting it into energy with slow, unhurried precision. Their pigments shimmer in blues and greens, absorbing light in rhythmic pulses. With each tiny reaction, they release oxygen into the water, a soft, invisible exhale that once transformed the planet. Breathe in slowly, imagining that ancient oxygen filling your lungs. Breathe out softly, as though returning it to the sea. Below them lie layers of bacteria that thrive in dimmer light. Some use sulfur instead of water for energy, creating slow, quiet flows of chemical transformation. Others feed on molecules drifting downward from the surface, each layer relying on the one above in a gentle, interconnected cascade. This vertical arrangement is not strict. It is fluid, adaptable, shifting softly as light and nutrients change through the day. Cells move slowly within the mat, rising or sinking depending on where they feel most comfortable. This movement is not hurried, more like drifting feathers adjusting to a breeze. Over time, microbial mats thicken. One layer becomes 2. 2 become 10. 10 become a living, breathing tapestry of microscopic life. This calm accumulation forms structures called stromatolites, some of which still exist today in quiet bays and shallow lagoons. They grow so slowly that a single centimeter may represent decades of peaceful microbial activity. Each thin layer of sediment trapped within them is a whisper from the past, a memory of ancient sunlight and silent cells that once thrived beneath it. Picture a stromatolite rising from the water like a rounded stone, its surface glistening softly. Beneath that surface lie thousands of layers, each one built by microorganisms drifting and settling and living in silent harmony. In this quiet construction, we witness the patience of life, the endurance of soft processes, the power of slow, gentle accumulation. Let your breath follow that rhythm. Inhale, building softly. Exhale, settling gently. These microbial mats remind us that life does not always grow upward in leaps. Sometimes it grows in layers, thin, delicate, nearly imperceptible, yet capable of forming structures that outlast mountains. From these ancient mats, we drift now toward the silent world of microbial oceans, vast waters where single-celled life forms the foundation of all marine ecosystems. Slowly, effortlessly, we descend into the vast, tranquil expanse of the microbial oceans, waters so filled with microscopic life that every drop contains a quiet universe of drifting cells. These oceans do not feel crowded. They feel spacious, soft, and endlessly calm, as though life here has learned to float in a deep, collective exhale. Imagine yourself sinking gently beneath the surface of a serene sea. The light fades slowly. The water grows cooler. And everywhere around you, countless microorganisms drift in silent harmony. These are the planktonic microbes, the foundation of all marine ecosystems. Not loud, not large, but incredibly numerous. Their presence forms the quiet heartbeat of the ocean. At the sunlit surface float the phytoplankton, tiny algae and cyanobacteria that capture sunlight with pigments that shimmer like soft emeralds. They perform photosynthesis slowly and continuously, releasing oxygen into the water with each calm reaction. Nearly half of the oxygen you breathe comes from these microscopic drifters. Inhale deeply, imagining their silent contribution filling your lungs. Exhale softly, returning your breath to the sea. These phytoplankton drift with the currents, never forcing their movements. They follow gentle flows, rising during the day, sinking at night in a slow vertical dance that repeats endlessly. Their rhythm is the rhythm of the tides, soft, cyclical, soothing. Below them glide the zooplankton, tiny animals and protists that feed on phytoplankton. Their motions are delicate, small pulses, tiny flickers of cilia, soft expansions of gelatinous bodies. Each movement is a whisper, each drift a gentle flow through the still water. Deeper still, sunlight fades completely, yet life persists in quiet forms. Bacteria decompose sinking organic matter with slow, steady patience. Archaea drift through cold, dark expanses, converting simple molecules into survival energy. No organism is hurried, no reaction is rushed. Even in the deep ocean, thousands of meters below the surface, microorganisms thrive near hydrothermal vents. These vents release warm, mineral-rich fluids into icy water. The contrast is dramatic, but the microbial response is calm. Bacteria gather around the vents, using chemical energy instead of sunlight. Their metabolism flows like a slow underwater river, supporting entire ecosystems of worms, clams, and strange life forms living in perpetual darkness. Imagine these cells as tiny lanterns of chemical warmth drifting through a cold sea. Silent, steady, unwavering. Throughout the ocean, microbial loops recycle nutrients with gentle precision. Organic matter from the surface settles downward like snow, marine snow, and microorganisms decompose it, releasing nutrients that drift upward again in soft spirals. This cycle feeds the ocean's calm abundance, forming a balance that has endured for millions of years. Breathing slowly, you may feel the ocean's rhythm, the slow drift of particles, the gentle rise and fall of microscopic communities, the deep quiet of ancient waters supporting life through patient chemistry. From these vast oceans, we drift now toward the silent microbial life that inhabits the atmosphere. Microorganisms floating in the air itself, drifting quietly between clouds and sunlight. Gently, softly, we rise from the calm depth of the oceans and drift upward into a realm that feels almost weightless. The atmosphere, where microorganisms float quietly through currents of air. Though invisible to the naked eye, the sky is alive with drifting cells, gliding peacefully across continents, oceans, and clouds. Their journey is not loud or forceful. It is slow, delicate, and carried by the wind's gentle hand. Imagine looking upward into a pale blue sky, the light shimmering softly across thin layers of air. Beneath this quiet canvas, countless bacteria and spores are suspended, drifting like microscopic dust motes illuminated by sunlight. They do not flap wings or propel themselves. They simply ride the soft currents of air, lifted by thermal rises, lowered by cool, settling breezes. Feel your breath follow this gentle ascent. A slow inhale, rising softly. A calm exhale, drifting downward like a floating spore. Some of these microorganisms originate from oceans, lifted by tiny bubbles that burst on the surface, sending cells upward in delicate sprays. Others rise from forests, carried upward through warm pockets of air. Some drift from soil, lifted by small gusts that disturb their resting place. And some come from the calm exhale of living beings, released softly into the sky with every breath. Once airborne, microorganisms can travel immense distances, across mountains, across seas, across continents. But their journey remains peaceful. They do not struggle against the wind. They surrender to it, resting in its gentle guidance. They drift higher into clouds, where droplets form around them. Inside these tiny droplets, bacteria help ice crystals form, quietly influencing how clouds grow, how rain falls, how snowflakes take shape. Picture a single microorganism acting as the center of a snowflake, a silent seed around which frozen water organizes itself in perfect, tranquil symmetry. A soft nucleus, a quiet presence, a delicate guide for nature's patterns. These airborne travelers can remain suspended for days, weeks, even months. Some spores survive the cold of the upper atmosphere, drifting higher than birds, higher than storms, into calm layers of air where sunlight filters thinly. They wait there, patient and still, until gentle downdrafts return them to the earth. Breathing deeply, you may imagine yourself drifting with them, weightless, peaceful, suspended in a soft blue expanse. No direction, no urgency, just calm floating. When these microorganisms finally settle back to the ground, they return quietly to ecosystems that welcome them. Some land on leaves and help plants grow. Others fall into streams and contribute to nutrient cycles. Some settle into soil and join communities that have existed there for millennia. Even in the sky, microorganisms form a part of life's silent balance, unseen, unfelt, but always present, moving with wind, shaping clouds, influencing weather with the softest touch imaginable. From this tranquil aerial world, we now drift downward toward another quiet habitat, the deep layers of soil where microorganisms create a slow, meditative world beneath our feet. Slowly, softly, we sink back toward the earth, drifting past leaves, past roots, past grains of dust, until we settle into one of the quietest and most ancient habitats of all, the soil. Beneath every forest, beneath every field, beneath every stone and step, lies a vast, tranquil universe of microorganisms living in calm, layered harmony. Soil is not silent because nothing happens. It is silent because everything happens slowly, gently, patiently, with the unhurried pulse of the planet itself. Imagine lying down and placing your ear against the ground. You do not hear voices. You do not hear motion. But beneath the surface, billions of microorganisms drift, feed, communicate, and rest in a soft, interconnected web. The soil is made of tiny chambers, pores between grains of sand, silt, and clay. Inside each pore, microorganisms gather like small, peaceful communities. Bacteria rest along mineral surfaces, forming thin films of life. Fungi extend delicate threads, ephy, that weave slowly through the soil, creating a soft, interconnected network. Archaea drift near the edges of moisture pockets, performing slow chemical transformations that sustain entire ecosystems. Feel your breath settling into the rhythm of this underground calm. Inhale softly, sinking deeper. Exhale gently, releasing tension into the earth. Microorganisms in soil perform some of the most essential processes on Earth. They break down fallen leaves with patient precision. They decompose ancient wood, breathing life back into the ground. They transform minerals into nutrients that plants can absorb. They form soft, protective coats around roots, shielding them from stress. They store carbon quietly, helping the planet maintain balance. Each task is done not with force, but with slow, steady chemistry. Reactions unfold molecule by molecule, like a gentle hand turning pages in an ancient book. Picture a bacterium resting near a decaying leaf. It releases enzymes softly, allowing pieces of the leaf to dissolve. Those pieces become nutrients. Other microorganisms drift in, absorbing what they need. No waste exists. Everything becomes part of a larger balance. This quiet decomposition forms humus, the dark, rich layer of soil that nurtures life. Humus is soft to the touch, moist and full of stability. It represents countless years of silent microbial work, layered gently like the thin sheets of stromatolites in ancient seas. Feel the stability of that humus beneath your mind. Supportive, grounding, calm. Some soil microorganisms form deep partnerships with plant roots. The rhizosphere, the space around each root, is one of the most peaceful and cooperative ecosystems on the planet. Bacteria gather there, sensing chemical signals released by the root, quiet invitations, gentle requests. The bacteria respond by helping the plant absorb nutrients more effectively. They soothe stress, protect against harmful microbes, and create a soft buffer of life around the root surface. It is a mutual exchange, a calm conversation, a peaceful partnership refined over millions of years. Within deeper layers of soil lie even older, quieter communities, microorganisms that have not seen sunlight for centuries. They rest in tiny water pockets, drifting slowly, performing minimal metabolism to survive. Some have waited thousands of years for conditions to change, existing in a peaceful patience that mirrors the stillness of deep ocean spores. From this soft underground world, balanced and timeless, we now drift into another tranquil habitat, the world within ice, snow, and glaciers, where microorganisms dream in frozen stillness, awaiting the slow return of warmth. Slowly, gently, we drift from the warm, rich soil into a realm of stillness even deeper, a world where time itself seems to pause. This is the silent universe of ice, snow, and glaciers. Here, microorganisms exist in a state so calm, so motionless, that their lives resemble a long, peaceful dream. Frozen landscapes do not feel dead. They feel suspended, quiet, breathing at a different rhythm. Imagine descending through layers of soft snow. Each layer grows colder. Each layer grows quieter. Until finally, you enter the solid, ancient ice below. Inside this frozen world, microorganisms rest in tiny liquid pockets, microscopic chambers preserved between crystals. These chambers are so small, so delicate that only a few molecules can drift inside them. And yet, within these pockets, life continues, gently, slowly, in the faintest whisper of existence. Feel your breath follow that stillness. A slow inhale, a quiet pause, a soft exhale. Some of these frozen microorganisms are bacteria preserved from storms centuries ago. Others became trapped in the ice tens of thousands of years in the past, carried by wind, snow, and shifting glaciers. They remain suspended, not in death, but in deep, tranquil rest. A state similar to spores, but colder, softer, more serene. Their metabolism slows to almost nothing. Their enzymes barely move. Their membranes stiffen into quiet, unmoving forms. But their DNA remains safe, encased in an icy cradle. This frozen rest is not frightening. It is calming. A deep, timeless sleep. Scientists have revived microorganisms from ice that melted after tens of millennia. These cells awaken slowly, gently absorbing water, letting their membranes soften, letting their chemistry reawaken as though rising from a dream. There is no shock, only a gradual return to motion. Picture it, a silent cell slowly thawing, the membrane relaxing, the cytoplasm flowing again, the DNA unwinding like a soft stretch after sleep. Breathing with this awakening can feel grounding. Inhale, warming gently. Exhale, loosening slowly. In glaciers and polar seas, some microorganisms continue their metabolism even while frozen, at the slowest pace imaginable. They convert chemicals molecule by molecule, reactions occurring over months or years instead of seconds. This tempo is peaceful. It is patient. It mirrors the rhythm of winter itself. In the upper layers of snow, near the surface, microorganisms drift in and out of freezing temperatures as day and night shift gently. They glow faintly under ultraviolet light, pigments protecting them from radiation, small, colorful stars resting in cold darkness. And then, within frozen lakes, beneath meters of ice, live microorganisms that glide slowly through dark water, unaffected by the world above. They feed on minerals, sulfur or methane, moving in soft, slow patterns like drifting shadows. All of this frozen life exists quietly. No urgency, no chaos. Only the deep patience of microorganisms waiting for the next change in temperature, the next drop of melt water, the next soft whisper of spring. From this realm of ice-bound calm, we now drift toward another tranquil habitat. The silent worlds that exist beneath the Earth's crust, in deep rock and subterranean aquifers, where microorganisms live in darkness, warmth, and profound stillness. slowly, deeply. We drift now into one of the most hidden and tranquil realms of all, the subsurface world, the quiet universe of microorganisms living far beneath the Earth's crust. Here, sunlight never reaches, wind never stirs. Water moves only in the faintest, slowest currents. And yet, even in this profound darkness, life exists, patiently, silently, enduring for millions of years. Imagine sinking deeper and deeper into the earth, past soil, past stone, past ancient sediments compressed by time. The air grows warm, the silence deepens, and eventually you enter a realm that feels almost timeless, a realm where microorganisms drift and rest within microscopic fractures in rock, surviving in spaces no wider than a hair. Feel your own breath slow as the world around you becomes still. Inhale gently, exhale softly, settle into the calm of deep earth. These deep-dwelling microorganisms, known as endolithic microbes, do not live on the surface of rocks. They live inside them, in tiny pores, in narrow cracks, in chambers formed by minerals shifting quietly over geological time. Their environment is stable, dark, and nearly motionless. Water moves through the rock in slow pulses, sometimes taking years to travel a single meter. Nutrients drift with equal patience, arriving molecule by molecule. And yet, microorganisms survive here, not by rushing, but by slowing their metabolism to match the stillness around them. Some reproduce only once every few decades. Some may take centuries. For them, time is not a river. It is a calm lake. Picture a single cell resting against a mineral surface. Its membrane touches the rock softly, sensing faint chemical cues. It gathers energy from hydrogen or minerals dissolved in the thin film of water. Its enzymes move slowly, with deliberate care. Its DNA drifts gently in the cytoplasm, protected from the stillness of this underground night. These microbes form some of the smallest, quietest ecosystems on Earth. Tiny communities living on iron deposits, microorganisms resting in ancient aquifers, cells surviving deep in basalt layers beneath the oceans, methanogens drifting through warm, pressurized chambers. The deeper you go, the quieter life becomes. Some microbes survive in temperatures near boiling, others in near freezing darkness, but all exist with the same soft patience. Imagine the feeling of this environment, the weight of rock above, the slow movement of warm water, the whisper of chemical reactions. A world without seasons, a world without sound. Scientists have found microorganisms kilometers below the surface, cells that may have lived in isolation for millions of years, sustained only by tiny chemical gradients from the surrounding rock. Their existence is a testament to the resilience of quiet life, life that endures by slowing, by settling, by becoming almost one with the earth itself. Breathing softly, imagine becoming part of this deep, subsurface calm. Let your thoughts drift like warm water through stone. Let your body settle like a single cell resting in darkness. From this profound stillness beneath the crust, we drift next into another tranquil realm, the world of microorganisms that live within other microorganisms, forming intimate, quiet partnerships, layered within layers of life. Gently, quietly, we drift now into one of the most intimate and delicate realms of all, the world where microorganisms live inside other microorganisms. Here, life exists within life, forming layers of soft cooperation so intricate and so calm that they feel like nested dreams, each one resting peacefully inside another. Imagine a single cell, a bacterium or a tiny protist, floating in a warm, quiet environment. Its membrane glows softly, holding a small universe within. Now imagine that within this universe lives yet another microorganism, even smaller, drifting gently through the cytoplasm of its host, protected, sheltered, existing in a state of tranquil symbiosis. This is endosymbiosis, life supporting life, from the Ichenya. Let your breath follow the same inward motion. Inhale softly, sinking deeper. Exhale gently, settling into stillness. Some bacteria live inside the cells of insects, providing nutrients the insect cannot produce on its own. They rest in specialized compartments called bacteriocytes, cushioned in warm cytoplasm, floating in a slow, nutrient-rich flow. These internal bacteria undergo calm, consistent reproduction, guided by the rhythm of the host's life. When the insect grows, the bacteria grow. When the insect feeds, the bacteria feed. Their partnership is soft, ancient, and essential. Some bacteria have lived inside insects for so long, millions of years, that they have lost large portions of their DNA. They no longer need those genes because their host provides everything they require. In return, the bacteria create nutrients the host cannot make. It is a slow, quiet exchange, like two beings breathing in harmony. Feel your own breath mirror this subtle reciprocity. A calm give, a gentle receive. In the ocean's peaceful darkness, some giant single-celled organisms, called foraminifera, host photosynthetic microorganisms within their bodies. These tiny algae drift inside the host cell, capturing sunlight and producing energy. The host provides protection. The algae provide food. Together they drift in soft, sunlit waters, moving slowly, like shared thoughts in a tranquil mind. Then there are the remarkable organelles, mitochondria and chloroplasts, which were once free-living bacteria themselves. Long ago, in a quiet ancient moment, a larger cell enveloped them. But instead of digesting them, it formed a partnership. The bacteria settled inside. The host adjusted. A peaceful fusion began. Over millions of years, the bacteria transformed into organelles, still performing their original tasks, still carrying traces of their ancient DNA, but now fully part of a larger organism. This event was not violent. It was gentle, cooperative, transformative. It shaped all complex life that exists today. In many ways, every breath you take is powered by an ancient endosymbiotic event, mitochondria quietly releasing energy inside your cells, following a rhythm older than animals, older than plants, older than forests. a soft, steady hum of life from within. Even today, new forms of endosymbiosis emerge in quiet ponds, warm soils, and deep oceans. Microorganisms continue to explore new layers of connection, forming calm, intimate partnerships that blend their existence into shared unity. Life inside life, stillness within stillness, a microcosm folded into another microcosm. As you breathe deeply, imagine these layers settling gently, like soft blankets of life resting together. From this intimate world of inner symbiosis, we now drift toward the gentle cycles of microbial reproduction beyond binary fission, the calm, diverse ways microorganisms spread, grow, and continue their timeless rhythms. Slowly, softly, we drift now into the gentle rhythms of microbial reproduction, a world where life continues not with urgency or force, but with calm repetition, like slow waves brushing against a quiet shore. Binary fission is only the beginning. Many microorganisms follow additional pathways, each unfolding with its own soft tempo, each contributing to the silent continuity of life. Imagine drifting beside a calm, floating protist, a larger single-celled organism living in a still body of water. Its membrane glows faintly under filtered sunlight. Inside, the cytoplasm stirs with gentle currents, slow movements, quiet preparations. And then, without hurry, without sharp transitions, it begins a process known as budding.